Okay, so today we are going to talk about the one thing that has a massive impact on your business, no matter what size of your business, where you are in your business, but that is pricing confidently and, more importantly, profitably within your business. So today we're going to cover why charging by the hour is the biggest mistake that photo booth businesses make, how to calculate your baseline cost per booking, how to build profitable pricing, and why corporate events should cost more than, for example, weddings or parties. So the biggest pricing mistake that I see in this industry is most photo booth people will price their services like $350 for 3 hours, $450 for 4 hours, and $550 for 5 hours, which sounds completely logical to a new business owner who's starting out thinking, I'm going to be on site an extra hour, I'm going to charge an extra $100 and I make $100 for that hour. But that's not actually the case. Because what this does is it ignores the real cost of running a business. The job is not about the amount of hours that you spend at the event. The job includes your marketing, it includes your sales, it includes your admin, it includes your equipment, your travel time, your setup, your breakdown, your insurance, your software subscriptions, your repairs and replacements. Like, this list is not exhausted. It includes everything that you have to pay out every month to own a business. And if you price by the hour, you're only charging for the smallest part of the job. In the reality, a 3 hour booking is something that usually takes between 6 and 10 hours for you to run that project. So you could spend 30 to 60 minutes replying to inquiries from the client. You have the marketing cost to acquire that client in the first place. You have your admin, your invoicing, your accounts. You have prep work for the event, design, templates, testing. Then you have packing up all your equipment, traveling to the venue, setting up, running the actual event, taking down, driving home, sorting out all your galleries, post-event customer service and support. And that's just time. That's not including all of the other things that we talked about in the last slide. So that is just your time. It can be anywhere between 6 and 10 hours, depending on how efficient you are within your business. So the problem with hourly pricing is that clients are going to compare you purely on price. You're going to compete with the cheap operators and the people who aren't charging enough for their service. And your value becomes the same as everyone else because a client is getting exactly the same response and exactly the same type of costing from everyone, and your profit disappears. So let's have a look at other event professionals and event suppliers. They don't charge by the hour. A wedding photographer does not give you an hourly rate. A DJ does not give you an hourly rate. Videographers do not give you an hourly rate. Event planners do not give you an hourly rate. They give you a project fee. So if you phone your local DJ and say, how much would it be to cover my wedding? They don't say, oh, I'm £200 an hour. They say, it'll be £1,600. Is that right, Sammy?
Well, yeah,
Or how it should be?
yeah.
Yeah. The same with a wedding photographer. They will have packages that cover certain parts of your day. So if you only want the day coverage or you want the night coverage or you want both, but they don't charge by the hour. The same with event planners. They charge you for the entire project because the project starts from the minute you start to acquire that client. And everyone needs to get into this mindset to make more money. Photo booth business is no different. You're putting all the time in before you turn up to run that job. So by pricing per project, you are selling the event experience. So for example, you have a wedding photo experience that is a half day, up to 3 hours live runtime, because that the client does want to know how long will you be operating, and then a price. That includes your premium booth setup, your custom overlay, your setup and breakdown, unlimited prints, online gallery, and a booth attendant, which is all the client needs to know. They don't know what a start screen is, nor do they care. They don't care about a custom microsite. They don't care about, like, they just want a photo booth. So sell them a photo booth and sell it as a project. And in order to do this properly, you need to understand what your baseline costing is. Now, for example, I did this exercise with someone this afternoon, and we put together all of their monthly overheads, and we took an average month of bookings. So, say for example, I'll do a different one now. I'll write it out. Let me see. Um, Say for example, maybe somebody wants to give me an example. Nigel, do you know what your monthly overheads are?
I'm not the best person to ask, but go on.
I love the honesty,
How
Nigel.
much? How much? On average, what would your monthly fees be out of your business every month to keep you in business?
Um, so what are these things that come out every month?
Yeah.
So about 20 quid on website,
Mm.
um, something on CRM. I'm not sure what it is. Andy pays it.
Right, say it's 50.
Yeah. Then there's the car, which insurance is more because I'm a DJ.
Mm. Much is that roughly?
It's um 600 a year, so
Right, say 90 quid a month.
yeah.
Okay. Software.
Use of home,
Okay.
30 quid a month.
Okay. Home office. Internet. Phone.
Internet is 20 quid a month.
Yeah. Phone.
Phone is in with the internet.
Oh, lucky you. Even your mobile.
Oh, my mobile, yeah. Oh, that's 10 a month, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Software.
What about software?
Photo booth software is 60 quid on activation
Okay.
ish.
How many activations are you doing a month?
Um, Free at the most
Okay. So 600.
because I do more DJing than photo boothing.
Yeah.
Okay. What about insurance for your company?
Um, the PLI and thingy, that's negligible. It's something like 30 quid a year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you've got MDJ, is it?
Yeah, I'm with Mobile DJ Network.
Yeah.
It
So
gives
are
me
we, and ours is not 30 quid a year.
oh yeah, I think it's gone up to 45 actually, but
Right. We'll put it in at the tenner a month. Ours is ridiculously higher than that. But anyway. Okay.
yeah, it's a thing. And even if I was to join like the National Association of DJs at their most expensive package, that would only be 250 quid a year.
Okay, all
Yeah.
the Americans are now stabbing you in your sleep because their insurance is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Design work.
Design work we get from you.
Okay. What about marketing? It's 150 a month, so it's what, about 90 quid sterling.
Yeah,
Canva, do you pay for Canva?
I don't pay for Canva now.
My goodness. Do you pay for chat?
Chat GTP?
Yeah.
No,
No. Okay.
I do use it sometimes, so I haven't paid for it.
Okay. Do you have how much do you pay staff or do you use staff?
Generally, I don't use staff, but I am in business with Andy, so it's usually a 50-50 split.
Okay. So if we look at one, two, three. Okay. So your overheads are quite low. So say for example, without taking in depreciation of equipment, you're talking about £750 a month just for you to be in business.
That's a sobering thought.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's because you're clearly not busy enough because the bigger you get, the more overhead you have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, how much is your average booking?
Um, I don't leave the house for less than 450. It's usually about £600-700.
Okay. So basically, if we take it at 600 times the three that you're talking about, which would give you 1800 minus your 750, then your profitability on those three jobs is £1,050 for three jobs. You divide that by three, and you're working out at about 350 quid per job. And you divide that by 10 hours, you're on £35 an hour. You might as well get a job in Asda.
We haven't mentioned fuel either, did we?
No. but your average hourly rate for your photo booth service is £35 an hour that you are being paid.
Were you talking about photo booth bookings and DJ bookings, Nigel, or just photo booth?
Yeah, but photo booth would be on top of the DJing, so that
Right.
would be the more expensive gigs, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what you have to do is you still haven't included your tax, your accountancy, all of that on top of it.
yeah.
So you take that £35 and you take off, are you VAT registered?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. So take off your standard tax at say 25%. Suddenly you're down, like you would be better getting a job
Okay.
in terms of what you're charging, just because you're working all these hours you're not being paid for. And you are no different to any other photo booth owner that I ever speak to when we have this conversation. Because we all start out and we look at what everybody else is doing instead of looking at our own businesses and our own business overheads. In our business, it's much, much more expensive as well because we have more overheads and more people and all of that, which is why when someone comes to us and says, oh, well, I can get a mirror booth for 250 for all night with unlimited prints, but it's somebody who has a mirror booth sitting in their kitchen who is doing it as a sideline, they can put that out and they're making a little bit of money, but they'll be making that £35 an hour. Whereas to be an actual profitable business, you need to be in excess. Well, in the UK, certainly, you need to be making a minimum of £75 an hour to be running a business. In the US, it's about $125 or $150. And that's including all of your time per booking. And that is where we all go wrong. And we did it too. When I started working with Sammy, he was not going to break even for 3 years. And he was gobsmacked. I remember the day I sat down with the spreadsheet. He was like, but we're so busy. I was like, but your overheads are massive within the business. And when your overheads are massive, then your profit is lower. And it's the same for any of you that are sitting and have been in business 5, 10, 15 years and you're growing, your overheads grow. And I always say, more people, more problems, and more people, less profit. Because every time you add someone to the business, it takes away from the profitability. And you have to ensure that you're looking at everything within the business and taking the best way to get your baseline costs for any of you on this call. Write out everything that you pay out every month. Take a bank statement and highlight it because there'll be things that you don't know that you're paying for. So when you go through and there'll be little silly things like £6 on an app or £7 or $7 on something or $10 on something. And when you add it all up, it becomes hundreds.
We also didn't charge anything for media and that.
No, because these are just your fixed rates.
Right.
That isn't even including your variable rates like paying staff or media or things at the event, like Sharpies.
Guest books,
Yes,
props.
props, like it becomes enormous. And as that becomes enormous, your profit becomes less. So what you need to do is you need to do a spreadsheet with all of these costs on it, and you need to be very real with yourself on every cost that comes out of your business. And then take what your average bookings are per month and divide it into it. That is your baseline just to break even. And you need to charge more than that. And whatever that more is what your profit is going to be within your business. So I have a lovely spreadsheet for you. Tell me why you laughing.
Just because that just instantly makes you want to double my pricing to be in a safe area of profit.
Yours isn't too bad because
No, I know, but generally people would listen to that, and what they probably should do is double their pricing.
Well, I always say minimum put your prices up. If you're in the US, put your prices up $150, or if you're in the UK, put your prices up £100 minimum, because it's unbelievable. If you look at how many bookings you did last year and add that £100 or that $150, see how much extra money would have been in your business. It's quite shocking because it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but when you put it all together, it really is, and it's profit. No profit, you're not in business. You're running a very expensive hobby that's costing you money.
On time.
So
and stress.
there's a link in this presentation for you to basically go in and make a copy and actually look at your pricing. So these are some of the things, and you will have other things in your business too. So you have your fixed costs, so that's like your insurance, your storage, equipment depreciation, your variable costs, your staff wages, your software, your media, your props, your travel, your design, your backdrops, your marketing, hidden cost expenses. So like buying 2 bottles of water and a sandwich on the way to a job because you're going to be there 8 hours, that kind of stuff. And then your event expenses, so your branding, your printing, your backdrops, your custom props, and then enhancements. So any enhancements that you could be adding and what you should actually be charging for these. So this is a corporate one, and there's a wedding one as well for you to actually look at and work out what your baseline is, because again, every business is completely different. No one can tell you what to charge for your services. You have to work out, what do I need to charge to break even, and how much profit do I want to make on every job to meet my financial goals this year. This is a horrible exercise to do.
All of a sudden, it doesn't seem like a very good business to be in. We should all be selling shit on Amazon.
It is, though, if you know what your baseline costs are. If you actually know what it costs you to run your business every month. And there's some people that are running it from home that have, like Nigel has pretty low overheads. Like if Nigel put his prices up £100 a booking, there's good profit there. You know, as long as you're reducing your hours and you're making sure that you're sitting at that 6 hours and not 10 hours of putting into the job, it's looking at what you can skim off to make more money. So a bit like us, Sammy, when someone comes in for a wedding, pick from these templates. They don't even get to pick a backdrop. We have made it very efficient that there's very limited time that goes into weddings, because it makes it more profitable.
I know, and so many people in this industry, like I talked about last week, talk themselves out of money and get so precious about stuff that just eats their time and eats their profit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and you want to be looking, see, for your own costings, value your time. Like depending on how long you are in business, these are the types of costs that you should be looking at per hour for yourself. So if it's a junior, $50 an hour to a client. If it's an executive, so an executive's up to 3 years, 75. If it's somebody with 5 years, it's 125. If they're up over the 7 years, it's $250 to $500 an hour. Because that is what you expect to pay for the experience that you're getting. And just think about the service industry. Think about, like, if you are phoning an accountant, or if you're phoning a lawyer or someone who is giving you a service, you pay more depending on who you speak to or who you're emailing. And it's exactly the same in our business. The more experience you have, the right you have to charge more. So you can all go and do this little spreadsheet and terrify the lives out of yourselves. You're better doing it now. The longer you leave it, you're just putting your head in the sand and thinking that you're running a business when you're not. Because if it's not profitable, you're not in business. And you don't have 10 years to get profitable. You have 3 max in a small business. That's why most small businesses collapse between year 3 and year 5. So happy faces now.
yeah.
The next thing then is how to actually make more money on the jobs that you are doing. Once you have established what your baseline cost is, and Nigel, just to terrify you even more, in our business, we have to bill £1,600 a day to be profitable. So you're very lucky. But for example, if you're sitting in a business where your monthly overheads are $2,000 and you're doing 10 bookings a month, your baseline cost per job is $200. So just take what your monthly overheads are, divide it by the average amount of bookings you do per month, and that will give you a baseline cost per job. Then you have to add the additional things. So that is your variable cost. So on top of that $200, how much is printing going to cost me? How much is fuel? How much is staff? Little bit on the wear and tear of your equipment and the time for that job. So that then quickly becomes 400 for your break even, which is why anyone who's charging $450 is not making any profit. So where does the profit come from? The profit will come from actually upselling within the business. So your real profit will come from adding a profit margin that is suitable. So say, for example, your baseline is 450 and you add a 50% profit margin or 100% profit margin, which is doubling your price to 800. That is giving you really good profit in order to reinvest into the business, to upgrade your equipment, to hire staff, and to actually grow. And don't be afraid to charge what you need to charge if you're growing a business. If you're doing it as a side hustle and you only want to make an extra $100, then make that your profit margin. But if you're trying to grow a substantial business that is sustainable, then you need to look at a higher profit margin in order for you to grow. And then upsells. This is the easiest way to make your business profitable. Instead of including all the things in your packages to make it look like you're a really great company and you're so good to work with and you give everybody everything for free, upsell. So sell a standard package and then charge additional fees for everything. So charge a fee for your premium backdrops, charge a fee for your guest books, charge for flower walls, charge for neon signs, charge for experiences or AI experiences, upgrade people to video booths, upgrade for different templates. So with your wedding package, you could have 5 templates to choose from, but if you want a custom template, it's an extra $150. When you start adding those upsells in, suddenly an $895 booking can get right up to like over $1,000, which then becomes very, very profitable because it's not really costing you anything other than 20 quid or $20 on a guest book. That is where the profit lies in this business. And the people who put it all in as part of their booking price are the ones who are suffering because they're not making the profit. And customers do not mind paying for additional things. You get them booked and then you upsell as you go. Sorry?
I can't remember what I was going to say.
So corporate events. Why do we charge more for corporate events? We see this all the time in all the photo booth Facebook groups. Oh, you're just robbing people and you're just doing the same thing and it's just a photo booth. No, it is not. When it comes to working with corporate, you're part of their brand team. You become a brand manager and a marketeer for that company. And that takes experience. And not everybody has the experience to do that. If you're only in business a year, 2 years, sometimes up to 3 years, you're not ready for corporate either, because you have to be able to speak their language. You have to understand what it is that their pain point is and how to deliver return on investment, because that's what they're looking for. They're not just looking for a photo booth. They are at Christmas for holiday parties. But if someone is coming to you looking for a job for a trade show or a conference, or they're looking for stakeholder engagement or internal engagement for their staff, they're not just looking for a photo booth service. They're looking for someone to help them get return on investment. And so you have to make sure that you understand the brand, that you understand their brand guidelines, that you know how to use them properly. And all of that takes time and takes skill. And that's what they're paying for. They're paying for you to integrate that brand into the activation. They're paying you to do the custom overlays. They're paying you for data capture, for lead generation, for professional staffing, for hosting the galleries, using the correct data procedures, like everything. They want faster setups, they want larger setups, they want higher reliability. They expect you to be given a brief and to go and run a job without you chasing them down for things. And ultimately, the biggest thing, they want return on investment. And you have to show them what that return on investment is. So the photo booth becomes a marketing campaign. And you have to be ready to sell that properly to a client, and you have to be ready to run that for a client. And that's why it costs more. This is not wee Susie getting married who picks a template and you throw it into your software and you turn up and do her job. This is managing someone's brand. And again, it takes more time. So that
when you're not familiar with all those things you just said there, so it takes a long time for that to sink into your brain.
Yeah.
When you're coming from photo booths at social and parties, and like we've seen it with you several times, when you start talking about corporate, like you can just see it washes over people's face. They're like, oh shit, right? I wasn't doing any of those things.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you shouldn't be expected to either. When you start a photo booth company to be out doing weddings and parties, no matter what anybody tells you in a Facebook group or a photo booth Facebook group, 70% of the photo booth industry is still weddings and social. That is the biggest volume of work that is available in the photo booth industry. There is lots of work there, and there's lots of profitable work there if you're pricing your services properly, and you can run a very successful business just doing those. Because the other thing that comes in with corporate that nobody talks about is we might charge a client £100,000 for a job, but there's only 20 grand profit in it. And it was 7 months of work, and it was endless meetings, and it was me tearing my hair out at night trying to find a particular color of paint to put on the back of a backdrop because it was part of the brand and you couldn't get it anywhere else. And it's those things that they're paying for, and it just eats away at your profit. So yeah, we can go and do a cool install at a shopping centre and charge them hundreds of thousands of pounds for it. But what's the profitability on it? We could make more profit sometimes going out and doing a drop-off booth every day of the week, which doesn't involve as much work. So you have to look at your business and look at what's right for your business and what's going to make you profit. You know, it's great to do the creative stuff, really time consuming, and it's not always massively profitable. Bianca, would you agree? And that's a hard learning curve for some people, because we look into the industry and we're all so inspired by these fabulous activations and all these great things that people are putting out there. And we're like, oh, when I grow up, I want to do that. Until you realize that actually the profitability in that is quite low because of the amount of time and effort and resources that have to go into creating that activation. It's not always as profitable as going out and doing 12, 13 weddings that are easy. So those are things to think about too. So just some examples. Your typical wedding package should be anywhere from $895 up to $1,300 for a standard wedding to be profitable, depending on what your overheads are. For a corporate activation, and this is someone who comes to you for a trade show, someone who comes to you for a golf day, anything that involves you managing somebody's brand, you're talking minimum $1,500 for it to be profitable. Holiday parties, you can pull into your kind of typical wedding packages if it's drop-off booths and if it's easy things. And like I have seen companies use one template the whole of the holiday season and just change someone's logo on it. Perfectly profitable at $800 to $1,000 because there's no work. They set it up once and use it 1,000 times. It's when you start to get into that intricate branding and having to liaise with a client and putting your time and your effort into it that you have to charge more. And with the corporate stuff, brand awareness, user engagement, marketing value, the lead captures, social sharing, those are the things that the client is just, they're not just buying a photo booth. They're not just buying fun and engagement. Some clients will just want fun and engagement, and it's okay to be giving them these prices if that's what they want. But once you get into delivering anything that involves their brand or engaging an audience to take action, you're over onto this side. So to build your confidence in your own pricing, you need to understand what your baseline is, not anyone else's. What is the baseline in your business? Because they're all going to be very, very different. What value do you put on your own time? Start to put a value against your time. In our business, when I'm costing out a job, I use a job sheet where I say, okay, Sammy's going to have to put 2 hours in on that. George is going to have to put in 6 hours. I'm going to have to put in 4. And I put the value for each of our experience in there And that's our pricing for just for us as a team to work on that project, and then everything else on top. Start to value your time. You own a business, not a job. And then your positioning. So how much experience do you have? How much experience are you giving to that client over what your competitors are giving them? There's value in that. And don't forget that that is one of the biggest values that you can sell to your client. And then your pricing becomes simple. Once you know, for example, in our business, our baseline pricing for a wedding starts at $495, which is about $650. Our baseline pricing for corporate starts at £800, which is about $1,150. But that is a basic booth with a template we already have that is dropped off and turned on. Everything else on top of that, there's additional fees. But so long as you're confident and you know what that is and what's profitable in your business, you'll always be confident when you're speaking to a client. You know, we've all had that client on the phone, well, just give me a price for it. So long as you know what our starting prices are and you can say them with confidence, the client's much more likely to book you. Finally, there's always going to be cheap clients. You're all going to get those emails. Price question mark. Do you have somebody quoted me, can you match it? They don't have to be your client. Your goal is to attract clients who want quality and want the experience, not the cheapest option. The person I was speaking to today, and they'll not mind me saying this, I told them last week they had to put their prices up by just $100. They were very, very nervous about it. They're actually pricing quite well, but they were very nervous about the extra $100 and came on a call today and was like, I took 5 bookings this week with the additional price. I was like, okay, you owe me $500 because you didn't have it last week. But if every job was that extra $100, it's an extra $3,500 a month in their business. It's a lot of money.
It's so easy but to fall into the fear trap when you're new that you just need a booking at whatever you can get.
And the other thing with pricing higher is having higher pricing actually attracts a better customer. So everybody's afraid to charge more, but actually when you charge more, you attract better customers who don't question price and don't give you tons of customer service and aren't massive headaches in your life. They're just like, oh yeah, and they book. And they do exist and they're everywhere. There's loads of cheap ones too, but that's okay because you get to recognize those emails and you just don't reply to them. You just let them go. Not my customer next. So the key things to take away from today: stop charging by the hour. Price per project. Know what your baseline cost per booking should be. Build out packages with upsells in your business, whether that is corporate or whether that is weddings, parties, quinceaneras, no matter what it is. Build out your project packages and have the upsells that go with them. Of course, you're going to call them event enhancements to the client, but have your standard packages. This is what I need to break even. Here are what my enhancements are going to be to make me more profit, and charge more for your corporate jobs. So think like a business owner, not someone who works for the business or a hobbyist.
Think like a big business.
Big business. Should change that to big business, should I?
Think like a big business.
Next week, we are going to cover getting your first bookings, where they come from, lead generation strategies that won't cost you anything to do, money, but they will cost you your time, and the fastest way to start filling your calendar for this year. So I'm going to stop sharing and take some questions because that's a lot of information.
That's a workout for the brain.
It is, and it's the scary thing that people don't like to do. Nobody wants to evaluate their business and find out that actually they're not making any money and they'd be better off getting a job at Costco or Tesco's because they wouldn't have the stress or the hassle. You turn up and they pay you a paycheck every month and you get insurance and health benefits and all the nice things that you don't get when you own your own business. But the difference in running your own business and running a profitable business is you get to decide what you earn. You get to decide what you charge, and you get to decide who you work with. And that is a very nice position to be in. And I know it's hard when you're starting out and you literally will take money from anybody just to get out the door and to look busy. But as you grow, you have that opportunity to charge who you want and work with who you want.
Jason slash Mia, where or how do you begin to value your personal professional value? Do you take into account minimum wage, your degrees, etc.?
Well, your professional value comes down to, first and foremost, what's profitable within a business. So minimum wage for staff is not actually profitable in a business. When you look at it, if you're charging that for yourself, it's okay as an employer to pay that for your employees, but you need to take what the minimum, say for example, let's take an attendant. You need to take what minimum wage is for that attendant, and you need to double that price to the client for it to be profitable within the business. As a business owner, you should be charging a minimum of $75 for yourself because you're the business owner. You have invested the time into learning your equipment, your software, and depending on how many years you have been in business, plus you have to pay your taxes. So you need to look at what that number is for you within the business. Then once you get into executive level, which is anybody 1 year or 2 years experience, it would be in around usually that $75. Once you're into managerial level, it's more expensive. Then you're into executive level, it's more expensive. Once you're into directors level, so like if you are booking Sammy and I versus one of the junior members in our team, Sammy's billed out at $500 an hour, as am I. George is in and around the $400 mark now because his experience is up, but one of our juniors is 150. So you have to look at the representation across the company, and all businesses do that. Any service business will do that. Even when I was at agency, when we were costing out a project, we had standard fees for a junior in the office, someone who's an executive, someone who's a manager, someone who's a senior manager. Like, that is very standard across businesses. And it's not down to necessarily how many degrees you have. It's down to the experience you have in the field that you're talking about. Because, I mean, there's none of us have a degree in, well, some of us might have a degree in events. But yes, if you have gone and done, like, say, for example, you've done your event management certificates and that kind of thing, you can charge more.
Just think of all the invoices I should be sending for all these Facebook messages 7 days a week.
No.
Angel, you're getting an invoice.
Angel would have to remortgage his house.
500 an hour, Angel. That's what I'm charging from.
But it's.
I appreciate it.
Angel, I would never bill you.
But I will, Angel. I'm running a business.
which is why I haven't booked a session yet, but I will. You're on the pay. My
prices are going up now that I've got my master's.
You're on the want list.
You're meant to do this, and then I'll be 6 months behind anyway. But it's okay. I'll be ready by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate it.
You have to feel confident in what you're doing too.
I had a couple of questions for you guys when you're ready.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
On presentation that you had, you're saying starting at, right? So I'm guessing that would be you're starting at a digital type of experience, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then your upgrades would be your print and everything else, right? And then the depreciation of the equipment. Like for somebody like myself, like I've had the equipment for months, but I haven't actually done any events or any profitable events. Mm-hmm. Are you going based on estimations of, let's say, 4 events a month or 6 events a month, so you could get an accurate number?
Kind of do it on an average of, if I have to replace this booth in 3 years' time, how much is it going to cost me? So a little bit like, this sounds ridiculous, but when I used to buy a new car, my mother, God rest her soul, always told us, now you remember to be putting money away every month for your new car. Now you just bought a new car.
Mm-hmm.
She would say, because every day you go out and you drive that car, it's depreciating and you're going to have to buy a new one at some point. So you need to start saving for the new one now.
Correct.
So that's what you have to think about with your booths.
All right.
They only have a certain life expectancy. Now, if
Yeah.
you're family, you can get a Moby booth to last 10 years. And
I-
it definitely doesn't owe you
I-
anything, but you should be putting away a small fee for depreciation with a view to, okay, that booth's going to need replaced or upgraded in 2 years' time or 1 year's time, and
Yeah.
just divide the price of it over the month and then divide it by the amount of jobs.
So you basically take the cost of the unit divided by 48 or 60 if you're going 4 to 5
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah.
And
Listen, you can get lucky and they can last 10, or you can get really unlucky and a drop off could be stolen on the first event.
correct.
That's an irrational fear that
Yeah.
doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
so if it goes
So
longer, you
I did want to share something with the group, since everybody here is new members, and basically taking the feedback that you give us of encouraging and thinking outside the box. So I have an event tomorrow. It's a baby shower. It's actually at my wife's job. It's a freebie, but it's just about exposure. But since it's a baby shower, it got me to thinking, how can I also promote this using AI and also to tag in the DJ business? So I've been working with chat, creating customized songs specifically made to this person.
Yeah.
And now I created an album. So that's going to be playing in the background along with a customized overlay. And it's just basically a digital, but it's just showing how we're bringing experience to each event. Each event can be unique. And this is also giving me the motivation to push the photo booth business as well, because I know DJ very well. I just don't know the photo booth.
Yeah.
But it's all coming together now, especially with these AI classes. They are a little intimidating and overwhelming, but it's just, picking and choosing your lane and kind of learn. So just when I get to learn it, something else is going to come out and start the process all over again. But I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
Amazing. Angel, well done. Because I know it's been very difficult for you. The photo booth world has been. Sorry, I have a small
Go to
giant.
bed. Get to bed, or
I
I'm
did
coming round.
the bed 15 minutes.
Tommy's coming round to do
I've been
bedtime
shouting.
stories if you don't go to bed.
I'll say night night to everyone.
No, night.
Night night, Finn.
I just can't.
He's gonna.
He's going to have to edit this out. What?
He's
Just
gonna
told
ask
mummy
me.
to put his prices up.
He's gonna ask me something.
Okay, honey. Night night. I love you.
She never says that. She's only saying that for the purpose of this call.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Look at you. Love you. Night night. Never said that in your life, Ursula. That's just for the call, for the recording.
Multitasking at the
Look at her acting the perfect parent that's usually get to fucking bed now.
No, I don't say that to my children. Sometimes.
There's none of this. Love you. Night night, honey. See you in the morning.
Well, we're an hour early tonight, so I'm okay. If he another 9 minutes, he's going to see a different side of me.
That's what's the
Great,
problem.
off you go. He's just in here. My door was stuck because there's a stone under it, apparently. But yeah, Angel, that's amazing that you're going out and you're doing that, because it's giving you really good experience. One thing I would ask you to remember tomorrow is that you let any of the females know that are using the booth that you are a small business and that you really appreciate Google reviews, and maybe even have a QR code on your phone for Google reviews to give to them to do there and then on the spot for you.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I'm glad I set up my Google profile. It took me 2 months, but I'm finally up and running. So
It's just so good to get you listed on Google Maps and get you moving forward with it as well.
that'd be great. Good feedback. Thank
Awesome. Melinda, as a new photo booth owner, how do you approach a client to get started? What are you referencing, Melinda?
Yeah, can you talk, Melinda?
Mommy.
Maybe she can't talk. Or put it in the chat.
Okay. So, as a new photo booth owner, how do you approach a client to get started? It depends on what type of client, Melinda, that you're speaking about. So, is it actually going after clients yourself, or is it a client that has come to you? I kind of need to know what way you're thinking. And we are going to talk about this next week on attracting leads and finding leads and how to work with them.
Anna, we understand the concept of charging per event or project, but how do we handle the number of hours we will be at the event, expos or conventions, or how do we manage the number of photos that will be offered?
Well, here's the thing. You can only do a certain amount of photos in any given time. So example, a half day rate for a wedding with a 3 hour runtime, your booth is going to be out of the business for half a day for a 3 hour wedding anyway. So you can't sell it to anyone else. You can't do anything else with it. You're going to give yourself an hour for setup. You're going to give yourself an hour for breakdown. You're going to give yourself 3 hours runtime, which is a half day rate. In that half day, the chances are, like, how many sessions can you do, George, in 3 hours?
It's roughly 50 per hour.
Which is why when everybody is all about, oh, I charge an extra 150 for prints if it's over 200 people, you can't charge like that. If it's over 200 people and everyone wants a print and it's only a 3 hour job, you need another booth. You know, so you have to work out what is right for the job. So look at setting your events as a full day or a half day, because if someone books you for a job from 9 until 3, that booth is out of the business for a whole day. It can't be used for anything else. So with us, our half day is a 3 hour runtime and our full day is a 5 hour runtime. And then that takes into account our time for setup, breakdown, and everything else. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, you're breaking up.
You're breaking up on it. Welcome to everybody who's arriving an hour late.
One more thing, Ursula, we're having a situation where a lot of corporate groups, they are writing to us through our lead. And, once we got them, that we try to reach out to them, they will not answer.
Anna, we
I
can't
don't
hear
think
you.
there's.
Anna,
Yeah, Anna, your internet's terrible. Can't hear you.
we can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
No, it's still dodgy.
Try turn it off again now, Anna. Try again.
No, it's bad internet. I'll type it in the chat, Anna, and I'll read it out. Yeah, she's going to write it.
Just write it. Does anyone else have any other questions?
If you're in late, don't worry, you can watch it back.
Cindy, you were taking notes. What were you taking notes on, if you don't mind me asking?
Just different things. I've got my budget up and I'm looking at it and I'm just putting in things that are missing from what you're telling me.
Right, okay.
Actually count.
It's so difficult, and we start off and we run with what we're doing, and even when we've been in business a long time, we have to go back and look at everything, and every year we should go back and look at everything and look at our pricing and look at what it's costing us to run our business, because even those small things, as I said, like £6 on an app here, £10 on an app there, especially now with the tools that we're using, you know, you've got your chat, you've got your Canva, you've got all these things that become hundreds every month when you actually go. Like, has anybody ever went in and looked at the subscriptions on their Apple account?
Scary.
It was only that George said to me one time, you have loads of apps in your phone you're using, and I thought, I better go and look at this. Oh my goodness, it was like £160 a month on apps that my kids had downloaded on my phone. That you were just, because it's £2 here, £3 there, you don't notice it until you put it all together and you're like, oh my goodness.
Anna said corporate leads are asking for calls, but they will never answer.
Okay, so when they inquire with your business, they're asking you for a call, and when you call, they don't answer.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's what you're saying, yeah.
Well, with a corporate lead, if they're not answering, and I always, when a corporate lead comes in, I always lift the phone to them, because I want to ask them what's the objectives of their event, how many people are going to be there, what is it they're looking to do with those people. So is it engagement and is it just fun, or do they have particular things that they want, like data capture, brand awareness, that type of thing. If they do not answer the phone, I send them that in an email. to just say, we are available on your date. We have lots of options that are available, but could you just give me a little more information and we'll send you across a proposal. And then follow up with a phone call a day later.
And what you were saying there about revisiting your stuff, there's a chances are the line items haven't got less, they only ever get more.
Oh yeah, completely.
You know, you never get 4 years down the line, wow, I'm using way less stuff than I ever was. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You're paying for more and it's costing you more. And inflation and fuel and everything else has went up, rent, mortgages.
So Anna's saying they still don't answer, and they don't even answer the emails, the texts, or the calls. So you get someone who emails into your business, you try to phone them, they don't answer. You email them, they don't reply. You text them and you try to call them, they don't reply. What kind of companies? Can you give me an example of a company or an inquiry? Now, we have had that recently. Sammy, do you remember that company that were looking the multiple booths for St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
And she didn't answer calls and she didn't reply. But after 2 emails, I just stopped. I was like,
We give up. It's next. We don't.
I'm not going to hang myself over them.
One was an aviation company, she said.
Okay. So what I would also do, if you're really keen to get in touch with somebody, is go to LinkedIn and connect with the person on LinkedIn and start to engage in their content that way, and maybe send them a message on there too. But if you don't get a response, move on. Because also, you don't want to look like they're the only person that you have in your inbox. So if they're not replying, and very strange, actually, we got a response from somebody this week that I hadn't heard from since January that I thought was dead. And now they're like, can we get on a call this week? This is getting close. And I was like, all right, okay. Haven't heard from you. I have no idea what you want, but you know, because that can happen with corporate too. And you have to remember, some of the people that work in corporate events teams or corporate marketing teams are very, very busy. And somebody in a meeting on a Monday morning will say, oh, somebody needs to sort out the photo booth for this thing in July. And as soon as they get back to their desk, they send emails to get it off their list, but it may not be urgent at that time. So I would just let it go and then keep a note of the event date and email them 2 weeks or 3 weeks before, again, just to check, did you get something sorted for this, so they know you haven't forgotten about them.
Facebook groups are generally full of broken business mindsets.
Your photo booth services include you and the equipment that you're taking out to run that job. Everything else is additional. If they want something changed on an overlay that means that you have to spend your time getting into a software to change something, that's your time and your expertise, and they have to pay for it.
It's so easy to fall into, well, I'm getting $1,200. I'm happy with that. Why would I charge them an extra 50 for changes?
Yeah, and then you work out that you've spent 27 hours on their event, and you might as well went and got a job at Costco because you'd have been paid more, and you get your health insurance.
And you get to crack open a beer at 5 o'clock and not have no stress.
And have no stress and no anxiety keeping you up at night or grinding your teeth. The easiest way to think about it is, if any of you have ever used an accountant or legal services, they charge you the minute they start talking to you on the phone. You know, you can't phone your lawyer and say, oh, could I just get 15 minutes of your time? You get a bill. You are a service provider. From the minute someone starts talking to you, you're advising them, you're guiding them, and you're providing a service. You have to be paid for that. And that's where this industry goes. So
and I say it all the time, it's the ruthless element. It's the being a shrewd business owner.
It is. And it helps you. Increasing your pricing will help you to attract a better customer. I was telling everyone that was on time today, no, not you, Johnny, that I was working with a client this afternoon, and last week I told them to put their prices up just $100. And they were terrified because they were like, I don't know, we already get pushback on our price, and its pricing was actually okay, but I wanted it up a little bit. And he was like, we already get pushback on our price. And I was like, just try it for 1 month. Bear with me and try it for 1 month and see what happens. His conversion is up and he took 5 bookings this week. Because putting your prices up attracts a better customer and less customer service for you. Because people who want a cheaper service will drain you. They're more customer service and they end up costing you more money long term. Do not be afraid to put your pricing up. Like 3 years ago, Sammy, you put your pricing up.
Yeah, significantly.
Might be time to put it up again. I was thinking,
Yeah, I think it is.
Even a little bit. But when Sammy put that pricing up, I remember Sammy's wife does the sales calls and she said to me and him standing in the hall, nobody's ever going to book at that price. They're never going to book at that price. And we were like, let's just give it a month. We'll see what happens. And a week later, I walked in. She's like, we took 5 bookings last week. And I was like, at the new price? And she's like, yeah, like so shocked.
Yeah.
And
But we mixed that in with a new brand and a new website, Ursula, which also helped.
Yeah. Oh, completely.
Made us look more premium.
Yeah. But charge more, you will attract the right type of customers. Your cost, Angel's asking, the cost to acquire a client is your marketing costs. So that's your website maintenance, your website hosting, your email marketing systems, your social media, and any digital ads that you're running. Or your time if you're out networking and doing outreach yourself directly.
And your PBM to train you on marketing.
And here's the other thing. People think spending like $100 on advertising or marketing is a lot of money. But if you're charging the right price for your services, $100 is actually cheap. You know, because we offer a luxury service that should be between $800 and $1,000 even for a wedding. So less than 10% of that in marketing is cheap marketing. And the more you put into your marketing, the more bookings you'll take because the more leads you'll get and the more you'll be able to convert. And that's where people go wrong too, because they're afraid to spend money on marketing when they don't have the money to spend on marketing. But if you don't, then you don't get enough leads for you to convert more jobs to make more money. And it's a very hard pill to swallow sometimes, but you have to spend money to make money.
Carla, so are you needing to do a custom quote for each job?
No, you need to know, Carlos, what your baseline pricing is. And I talked about this too. In our business, our baseline pricing for weddings for a digital drop-off to be profitable are about £500 sterling, which is about $650. Then everything else is an addition. So if they want an attendant and they want prints, it's all on top of that. And that's all profitable because the price of that, we add another 25% to, so that there's the price of the staff plus the profitability. With corporate, our minimum baseline pricing has to be 800, and that's for like a basic booth that is dropped off, turned on, and George walks away. But once they want branding or prints or anything else, it's all additional fees at whatever the cost price is and a minimum markup of 25% for profit. Does that make sense? He looks like he's eating something very nice.
Oh, stop it. I'm hungry.
And he's somewhere warm. It looks warm where he is.
Stop it. Anna, website should not have prices? Question mark.
Depends on your business. If you know and are confident in your pricing and that you are a premium price, absolutely put it on your website, because then it puts down how many inquiries you get from people who can't afford you. But you don't have to have packages on your website. See this whole packages page and you go and there's a 3-hour package and a 4-hour package and a 5-hour package. It's not doing anything for you. It just makes you look like everybody else. But you can have a beautiful wedding page that shows your services, which is your hardware. So like digital booth, print booth, 360. Then underneath, experiences. So the things you do in your software. So it could be like Glam, Spotlight, keychains, you know, all that lovely stuff. And it can say prices starting from $500. Inquire now. And then you send them an actual quote for what it is that they need. Sell the experience and lead someone through the sale. You want them to book a service with you, first of all, which is choose what type of hardware I'm using for your event. Then upgrade them with experiences and your add-ons and your event enhancements to make more money. but you can do that after too. The main thing in our business is, do you want digital or do you want prints? Because that's the service. And then everything else is an upsell.
Abner, what should we be charged for a custom template?
It depends on what type of custom template and how customized it needs to be. Is it something you already have in the business where you're just changing their names and it's going to take you 10 minutes? Or is it something that they're sending you a wedding invite that you have to recreate something from scratch? Again, it's down to, if you're doing it yourself, hourly fee for design should be a minimum, absolute minimum of $75 to $150 if you're doing it yourself. Or if you're paying someone to do it, how much are they charging you, and add another 25% for profit?
Yeah. A spreadsheet will be in the presentation download, Madison, which will be in the ebook section, or will it be on the Academy?
No, so let me actually show you the Academy so everybody can see it.
If you arrived in late, and many of you did,
there was a full presentation.
I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm not letting this go.
I know,
just,
but we're trying to work around it and be
just to remind you, it's not us, it's you.
We really did try today too. We moved our time so that we would be on time for you. That didn't work either. Let's see. So when you go onto the photo booth marketing website, let me just screen share here. It's throwing me out. So when you go onto the photo booth marketing website, there's a big blue button at the top that says Photo Booth Marketing Academy. Click here. When you click here, you'll get a big green banner across the top that says you need to log in again. You use exactly the same login details as you would use for photo booth marketing. And then you scroll down and you'll see here the PBM Profit Builder Series. You click on that link and the videos to last week's. So when you scroll down here, you'll see that week 1 is there. Week 2 is here. Tomorrow we will put it in here. And when you click onto it and you go in, I haven't unlocked it, that's why. So you have to go up the top and click Start Learning. I haven't went back to watch my own course because I assume I should know this stuff. So this is the first one, and you'll see under the video, there's an overview of what the lesson is, and then the exercises with the presentations that you can download. And they will, last week's is on there already, and you'll see the video, second video, and the presentation. And tomorrow we will put this video and the presentation for everyone. And that is free for anyone to go and watch back anytime.
Question for you about the spreadsheet, if I may.
Yep.
So I noticed that identifying what you're paying per event, like I feel like I just placed my prices high enough to kind of cover everything, so as to at least attempt to skip that step. But if I were actually to really do it, I am gonna do it and try to break down what I feel like for my large capital expenses, it's essentially like I'm not spending much per event since what I do is mostly rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how I break down the per event cost when I'm not really spending money per event. I'm not spending money per software. I don't do any advertising. I don't have a lot of like per event expenses. Aside from paper and the transportation. It's basically just like the cost of the restoration of the vehicles that I do
which is a lot.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I'm just curious, like, how would I calculate that per event?
Your depreciation would be the biggest thing in your business, because what you do is rinse and repeat. You've created something that is very unique that you can sell thousands of times, but you need to work out how much did it cost you to create that one product.
Yeah.
You need to divide that by, well, how long is that product going to last before it needs changed or upgraded? So say it's 3 years, right? Just for talk's sake. You need to divide that price by 3 and then divide it by the average amount of bookings over a year.
Okay.
And that'll give you a rough estimation of what your depreciation is. And that might be scary.
That word is scary,
Scary.
but in the accent, it sounds like scurry.
Oh, scurry. Yeah, you will
That's
scurry really quickly away from this spreadsheet when you start doing it. Everyone will want to run.
Yeah, I think for me, since the direction that I'm going into is the scalable business, and this I think is the necessary step to get into scalable business land because I have not been building it to scale, and that's the direction that I'm trying to go into. So scary but useful, and I'll do it.
Yeah. And it's the first time, I remember the first time I ever used a calculator on Sammy's business. It was terrifying. I was just like, oh my goodness, all of these overheads. And what we did with Sammy's business was we cut the overheads because his overheads, his monthly overheads were far too high, far too high. He was already renting premises, he was staffing every job, he was hiring vans. Like the overheads were extortionate, weren't they, Sammy?
Yeah.
And I think the profit per booking was something really ridiculous, like 137 per booking. It was like, this is not sustainable, and you're not breaking even for 3 years. That was the reality. How quickly were we able to turn that around? In about 6 months.
So when you worry about getting bashed on these calls, I got bashed first. I'm the OG at getting bashed. All right. I got roasted before any of you got roasted. All right. I took one for the team early doors.
I was a lot tamer then.
Yeah, you've definitely got worse.
Sammy, we all get it. Look, you get it too. I get it too, Sammy. Don't feel bad.
We all got bashed. Other people need bashed. I'm fed up getting bashed.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I get it about looking at those numbers and being scared of it. So I've just been kind of resting on my photo booth business for a long time. Like just kind of like now I'm getting more active in it. Um, but I looked at the numbers at the end of the year and I'm like, how much money at the all of this did I keep versus how much did I make through the business and how much did I spend? So this was an eye opener for me when I'm like, the business is making six figures, not the high six figures,
Yeah.
but the business is generating six figures.
Mhm.
But in the very end,
It doesn't mean it's
I
profitable.
saw for me, for myself, and it's not really about me. It was five figures. Like,
That's one thing
I've
that
got like $5,000 or $7,000 after PBX. I said to Heidi, we need to look at every single number. And even in the class, we need to know what it cost us to get out the gate from and you spoke about this and whether it's photo booth or anything, if you're selling hot dogs or you're doing fish and chips or you do whatever it is that you're doing, you need to know what it costs you. Because the business, I rarely go out to events. We have a great team, so sometimes I don't see them for months. I don't, and everything works fine. We get good reviews, but then when I look at the bottom line, I'm like, well, how much do I have? What do I get out of this? It was very small, but I'm not really going out to events, but I'm still involved with answering emails, phone calls, logistics, who's going where and everything else. So definitely, I don't say it's scary. I say face the truth. Then I know like this is not worth going out. Like otherwise, I'm buying a job.
Yeah. And that's the reality. And I know that a few years ago there was somebody in the industry who was kind of driving out this, all of our owners make 100K, or all of our owners make 500,000 or 1 million or this kind of thing. But when you actually look down at their profitability, it's very easy to make 100K in this industry. Very easy to make 100K. But what's your profit? What did you actually take home and out of the business? And that's the first thing I do with any one-to-one client. We go through, what are your monthly overheads and what does it cost to run this business? How many events do you need to do to break even? And how much profit do you need to make to pay your taxes and to give yourself the wage that you want? You have to work backwards. So if somebody comes to me and says, I want to do one-to-one and I want to take home 10 grand a month, I'm telling you now, you need to be billing 32. For you to take home 10 grand a month in your pocket, you need to be billing 32 grand a month.
After tax and everything.
After you take out overheads and everything else, that's what you need to be doing if you want 10 grand a month. And suddenly it becomes a very difficult business. And that's when you have to look at where the business is coming from and doing better business. Some people do volume really, really well. Don't get me wrong. I have one person who does volume, has a team, never goes out to events and takes home a good wage for him and his wife and pays a team of people. And that's great. And that works for him. And then I have others who are making 50 or 75 grand a month with small teams, but doing less events, but more profitable events. And you have to decide what's right for your business. So start with that number and start with yourself and be really selfish and say, okay, I want to earn X a month. In order for me to do that, I have to pay the tax on that. I then have to have all the business overheads. I have to have the marketing. Work backwards from what it is you want. And then manage and clock what you bill every month. Not what you invoice. Not what's coming in terms of cash flow. Have your own worksheet on what you're billing like a salesperson. Because if you bill 32,000 every single month, your cash flow becomes 32,000 every single month anyway. And it only takes about a year, but you have to get consistent with it. And then constantly be looking at where you can reduce your overheads in the right places. It's not getting rid of your software subscriptions because that's your superpower. It's not getting rid of your marketing because that's what brings in your leads.
It's not getting rid of photo booth marketing. No. No. Keep that one.
It's looking at other things within the business, in terms of, okay, are we spending too much on fuel? Would we be better having one person go out and drop off all the booths and then attendants go themselves? Look at how you can, my mother used to call it trimming the fat. You look at that. You look basically at your bank account and what's in that bank and what's going out of that bank every month. And you go, is that really necessary? No, it's not. Get rid of it.
I agree 100%. No, I agree. What you're saying is, because I'm like, I can go and I don't necessarily want to be at an event standing for 4 hours. Hey, we're doing this, blah, blah. I'd rather have someone that's younger, that they're just happy about it. But me going setting a booth up before and breaking it down and dropping it off, and we're in the city proper. So we can walk to events. And so trimming.
We would have you walking with that booth under your arm. It's not even.
No, not walk the booth, but walk a roamer though. We could definitely walk a roamer, and we're doing interactive event photography. But the staff, because parking here in the city could be $25 to $50.
Yeah, just charge the time for it.
Yeah, and plus the time that it takes when you're going to an event, and there's the valet line is this long, or we're sharing the elevator with the other vendors.
Johnny, you're being very posh. In Northern Ireland, a valet, it does not exist. Yeah. Poor George has to park up that van 3 lots down a car park, walk in the pissing rain, and still expect him to look good. Like you're talking about problems that aren't problems.
Well, they just money things like, well, you pay. So I'm just figuring trimming the fat.
Yeah.
Well, I could go set the photo booth up as opposed to having them there 2-3 hours before. I'll go set it up. Mm-hmm. I can sit at home, team viewer.
Yep.
Team view, everything's already, just don't move anything. Mm-hmm. And I'll come back, break it down. I'll swing around and pick them all up. Boom, boom. Yep. So
absolutely, Johnny, you become operations within the business in order to justify your wage and reduce your staff costs.
Yeah.
Sammy, the biggest thing in Sammy's business originally when I started working with him was we got rid of hiring vans. Do you remember, Sammy?
Yeah.
His van bill a month was like, I think it was over £1,000 a month. and he wasn't charging enough for jobs, so we had to put the price up too. But like, he was staffing every event and hiring vans for the staff. Ridiculous. Because you're also not building or adding an asset to the business that is sellable.
That's a lot of information.
No.
Well, this is something that's helpful, and I was thinking about how I can take a lot of essentially the sweat equity. Since I don't really buy photo booths, I built all of the booths. All of the booths that I built into the bus, I've restored the buses and all those things myself. But I'm thinking maybe it would make sense to just like start this year, pretend I was buying all of that stuff new, and then just like take my labor out of the equation, and then do the breakdowns.
You still have to put in.
It sounds like what you're saying also is to track the hours that I'm actually working.
Well, I think for you, you have to look at your bus and break it down into parts of how much. If you had to build a new bus tomorrow, what's that going to cost you?
Yeah.
Including your time to source those things and build that bus on an hourly rate of a minimum of $250 an hour. Because if you had to pay somebody else to build this for you, you wouldn't get anybody for less than $250 an hour.
Nope.
Or Madison, what about if you were to sell the bus and have that be your thing? Like if you were to actually sell this to someone else, like, hey, I love what you have going on. I want to buy that exact thing, the bus restored with all the pieces. What would that be? And then that could be like your marker of an industry rate of what you could apply it across the board.
Yeah. No, that's very good. And I'm gonna apply this into this spreadsheet and just like actually know what things look like, because it's been long enough that this would be good information to have. And I may find that it's totally unprofitable given the amount of time, energy, and money I spend on these things. I've basically just been paying to keep them alive, even though I'm charging a lot of money.
That is the scary reality. The first business that I ever ran with a friend was not profitable. And we just kept plowing money into it, thinking at some point, we're going to make money from this, until we were about £125,000 in each and went, this isn't going to work. Like, this is never going to make money. We have to just let this baby go and learn from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the hard reality. No profit, no business. It's just that simple. If you're not making a profit, you're not in business.
Yeah, it's scary to find out that maybe you'd make more money just having a hot dog stand.
Yeah, or getting a job in Costco that you can come home at 5 o'clock and put your feet up and open a beer and not have to worry about anything.
And not grind your teeth.
Yeah.
Not grinding your teeth. My dental bills, oh my goodness. Let me tell you, my dental bills in the last 10 years. We would need to be profitable, Johnny. But that is the reality of running a business. But the great thing about running a business is you get to choose what you charge, who you work with, when you work, and the freedom to make uncapped amounts of money if you let it happen. And that is the reality of this industry too. I have people who work one-to-one with me that are making $75,000 a month. $50,000 a month. I have some that are making 12 because that's what they want. What is it that you want for your business? How much do you want to put in and how much do you want to take out? And the last thing I'll leave you all with to think about, whether you started last week or you've been doing this for 10 years, what's your exit strategy? Because anybody wants to be doing this until they're carrying us out in a box. Every business that you build should be built with an exit strategy in mind. So where I'm telling you to go and think about how much money you want to take out of the business every month and what you need to build to do that, you should also be thinking about, what is my exit strategy? Is my exit strategy to hire in a manager to run this while I still take a drawing out of the business? Or is it to sell this as a profitable business? Because both those things take you down a very different road in terms of what you need to do in terms of your processes and procedures. So that's big boy business pants on.
You're stressing me out.
You're okay. You have an admin. You just keep turning up and being creative.
Stop
Keep
stressing
pushing
me out
me.
there.
Keep
So that's
pushing
enough.
admin.
That's enough. We're supposed to be encouraging people before the big businesses here.
What about business can be very profitable, no matter
I
what.
have a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Is that George?
Yeah.
All right.
George, he looks like Madonna in the
Yeah.
80s with his
Hi,
headset
George.
on.
Oh, it's
I was like,
because
wait.
your
I was
name
like,
still
two
says.
Ursulas. So I met George at the P. I thought George was working for the. I didn't know that he was part of the photo booth marketing crew.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't.
It's quite scary how long you've been a member and you don't know who George is.
Well, but I always knew the name George, you know, so some people their name rings out like in the streets. You know this person's name like Sammy English.
Don't say
and
it
then
like
you
that, Johnny. Fuck me.
well, yeah, well, but you know, I've kind of there's so many photo booth like Sammy was saying, like Facebook, there's this group and that, you know what I mean? So me, I haven't really with the photo booth marketing, I really haven't participated in it as much because I'm like, because I do have a team like, hey, if you want to make more money, as opposed to just being a photo booth attendant, you're one of our team. I brought them out to photo booth conventions. So still looking for somebody that's hungry, that's, you know, they just don't want to be a photo booth attendant. They
I
might want
think,
to.
did PBM Live completely change your perspective?
It did. It did.
I think
And it was,
before you were kind of just floating along going, yeah, I own a photo booth business, it does okay. And then you sat in that room and you went, oh my God, what are we doing?
you know what? I'll be very candid. I wasn't even gonna go to photo booth. I wasn't even gonna come this year.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna save my money and invest. But there's reasons why. So, George Velasco was like, "Hey, Johnny V, Mark Anthony's gonna be in Vegas, and I've never seen Mark Anthony." And but I'm like, "Hey, tickets." Looked at the prices, and like, you know what? I've never been to a show in Vegas,
Right. Okay.
so I'm like, all right. Heidi and I will get to go to a show before the expo, and you know. But in any case, we didn't even have tickets for the expo, but some friends gave us passes, and then last minute, Johnny Tooch was sick, and I saw you right after we came from the Mark Anthony, and I'm like, oh, there go Ursula. We have to go say hello.
So, do you know what? Isn't it funny how sometimes things happen? You were meant to be in that room.
That's how my whole life is.
Yeah, you were meant to be in that room.
And we have to go say hi to Ursula, you know, and they say, hey, did you guys sign up for my class? And I'm like, what class?
Yeah.
Just been paying membership for 6 years and don't turn up for that.
No, well, because you know what? Sometimes, so the initial one that we went to, which was the 2-day one,
Yeah.
that was very intense, and it was from the morning to the after. It was 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's like for me to sit in a classroom setting for even so many for so long, I'm like, all right, I have to take breaks.
Yeah.
You know,
it was so intense, Johnny. We will never do it again.
I remember that. I'll tell you the number one thing I definitely remember was the waking up in Vegas video.
You like that?
I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm like,
Say,
oh, this guy Sammy is cool. Like,
say, I don't have all the good marketing advice and all that. I just do the fun stuff, Johnny. I make it palatable.
Yeah. So anyway, back to George. I thought George worked for SnapPick. you know, but overall, yeah, it was very good. So that very first 2 hours, like, oh, I already got my takeaways, you know, working on my notes from what you, Jamie, and both of your teams did at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And so, yeah, I always get my takeaways, and that was a nice one. And, you know.
No, it's good. I'm glad to see you on the calls, and I'm glad that one course has had an impact on you and make you look and go, do you know what? Because Johnny, you do have a good business, and the potential with your business is massive. You just need to look at it as a business owner now, saying, okay, I don't want to own a job anymore. I want to own a business that is scalable and sellable. That's where you're at right now, which is an amazing place to be because you've worked really hard to get there. There's other people sitting on this call that haven't even done their first job yet, you know, and you remember what that was like, and it's terrifying, you know, but everybody has the opportunity to set their own pricing, to set their own financial goals, and to go out there and make of their business what they want to make of it. And that's what I encourage everybody to do. You will never tell me, or you'll never have me tell anybody what to charge in their business. But I will tell you that you need to explore your costs and work out what is profitable for your business, and then decide what profit you want to make. Because there are some people just do this to get their kid through college. And if they want to go out and do photo booths every weekend for $250 to put that kid through college, that's their business. Let them run it that way, so long as it's profitable. And then you'll have other people who want to make 100 grand a month and have a tea. And so that's their business. So all of you go away today, because you still have 4 hours left in your day and we don't, and enjoy this exercise. It's painful. I'm not saying it's not going to be painful, but enjoy this exercise and work out what you need to be charging to be profitable, and change your pricing. And even if you work out that your pricing is profitable, still put it up another $100, because look, the price of gas has gone through the roof and it's not coming down. I know we said it's coming down, it's not. So put your prices up $100. Because
sorry, go ahead.
If you work out how many jobs you have done, even to date this year, with an additional $100 on them, that will pay for your membership for PBM for the year and that course in Vegas next year.
I like that. That's a good tip. Definitely do that one.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Definitely do that one.
On every booking to cover your marketing.
Yeah.
Or if you're worried that you haven't enough money to put into marketing, put your prices up and use that money to pay for marketing.
Yeah. See if somebody filled out the form for the spreadsheet for the website and brand review. When would they be?
They will all be finished by this Friday. I'm working my way through them.
Because somebody was asking me there.
Yeah. By Friday, I will have them finished, and then I'll put it out again next week for anybody that hasn't been added to that list.
Okay. And again, I'm going to keep saying this. If you joined late, still go back and watch the start of this Zoom because it was good. You missed like a full hour of goodness.
Can you post that spreadsheet so we can get on this now?
Madison, I'm going to put it on the site right now. So the video won't be on it, but if you go to where the video for week 2 will be,
I'm ready.
Put the presentation on for you now.
And more housekeeping. If anybody's new to PBM and you still need help with navigating the website or figuring stuff out, make sure you're in the photo booth marketing Facebook group, because that's where all the communication happens. And make sure you've added me as a friend on Facebook. And if you need help, you message me. That's what you do. If you don't get a reply, I am unconscious. But that's usually for a short amount of time in a 24-hour period.
Sammy doesn't sleep. He's telling lies.
Well, I do, but 5 hours and I'm recharged, good to go. Message me.
That's usually me, Sammy, too. Sometimes it could be even 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I get it. All right. I'll know when to call you.
Yeah. Just keep in mind I'm probably 5 to 8 hours ahead. So if it's 6 p.m. with you, it could be 12 a.m. with me, but you'll still get a reply if I'm awake. All right, let's go. We've kept everybody long enough. That's nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm just adding this attachment now onto that. So when you click into the third bit, there'll be no video yet, but the PDF is now on there for you all.
There you go.
Download, and the link is in the PDF to that Google Sheet. And I'd be interested in any feedback you have. And if you have any questions on it, please just drop me a message on Facebook Messenger and I can answer for you, because I know that these calls can be intimidating for some people too to ask questions. But please reach out to us. We are here to help you.
Yeah. Don't email me. Message me on Facebook.
It's the quickest way to get
us. Emails suck. I hate emails.
Well, I have boundaries. I only answer emails first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And in between, you have to wait. So, but if you message me on Facebook Messenger, you'll generally get me quicker. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great week. We will see you all next week at the same time because our clocks don't go back until the Saturday.
Wait, one last question. Is there something again tomorrow?
No.
No, not this week. Last week we had PhotoMaster training, and the week before was Snap Pick.
So what is it? Tuesday and Thursday? Because Heidi says there's 2 a week. So now I have to show.
this series is post PBX for new members, Johnny.
4 weeks.
Oh, hey, I'm new.
Yeah, well, this is the first time you've turned up in 6 years. But Tuesday
Seems
is
like
our
he and I have a lot in common.
yeah. And you're both going down the same path at the minute, so you should maybe use each other as accountability buddies because you think in the same way. Tuesday is our standard photo booth marketing training. That happens every Tuesday at the same time every week for the last 8 years. Then we have this is an extra course that we did for new members to help them use the site and think about things, but also a refresher for any of our members that wanted to come to think about the things that they maybe haven't thought about for a while. The last one in this series is next week. Then we also do training for Snap Pick, which is the last Thursday of the month. And now we have the PhotoMaster training, which is Monday the 30th. Isn't it Monday the 30th? Yeah, Monday the 30th of March as well.
So to summarize, it's just every Tuesday. And there's one more Wednesday next week, and that's it.
All right, Tuesday. At what time now? I mean,
you'll get an email.
I'm gonna be there. I'm there.
Just turn up, and if you're late,
I'm going. I'm gonna be early.
Just log in every hour, rolling up that you think it's gonna be, and when nobody lets you in after 5 past, disappear for another hour and come back.
Well, for next week, because it's Zoom that is messing this up, the Zoom link that everybody has is telling them that it's another hour. It's Zoom that isn't changing. The time on our emails is correct.
So it's America and Zoom now.
Absolutely. Because it's never Johnny. It's never us.
Back early, but next week, don't look at what the Zoom link says. Look at what the email you get from us says, and also have a look in the Facebook group because we will put a reminder in an hour before.
Facebook group is your friend. If you want regular communication, definitely join Photo Booth Marketing Facebook group.
And the Instagram as well is very active. So the Instagram.
I'm on both of those.
Yeah.
But I'm just starting to do Zoom now because I'm like I logged in, nothing's happening. And Heidi's the tech person. Heidi, I can't log in. Well, you need to log in on this through this. So I think I got it now.
And if you want,
I'm going to be sending you back to Heather, Johnny.
What's that?
Oh, that. I'm going to be sending you back to Heather.
Oh, a friend of mine, they still call her. People still call Heidi Heather sometimes.
It's not terrible, but anyway, that's for another day.
Heidi's upper echelon. Heather was cool though.
I bet she was, but she's not around anymore, Johnny, and she's now Heidi.
No, Heidi.
And if you're not getting notifications from the Facebook group, go into it after this call and like and comment on about 5 or 6 posts. To show the algorithm that you want to see stuff from our group.
Okay.
Just go in and like random things and leave random gifts on posts.
I think I got this. No, I think I could. I think I'll be in class next week.
Okay.
Right on time.
Right.
Now that Johnny knows your name, you send him a wee message next week and say, Johnny, we're starting in 15 minutes.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah. I'll send you a request.
Yeah. By all means, George, please.
Right, let's go. I've had enough of everybody now.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later. Bye.